lamp whose rays did reach and touch upon all corners of this scope. A lamp whose rays did reach and touch upon all corners of this scope. You are the light that's in our hearts, Habibi ya Rasulallah.
Nahmaduhu wa nusalli wa nusallimu ala Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadin Rasulihim Nabiyyil Aminil Makinil Haninil Karimil Raufir Rahim. Amma ba'd. فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما أرسلنا من رسول إلا ليطاع بإذن الله وقال الله تبارك وتعالى في مقام آخر من يطع الرسول فقد أطاع الله وقال جل مجده في مقام آخر ما آتاكم الرسول فخذوه وما نهاكم عنه فانتهوا وقال جل سبحانه في مقام آخر وما ينطق عن الهوى إن هو إلا وحي يوحى صدق الله مولانا العظيم. Respectable Imams, Ulama, the Khutaba, scholars, the executives and representatives of Islamic centers, mosques, and spokespersons and leaders of Muslim community, GTA. Alhamdulillah Ta'ala, this is indeed Almighty Allah's great blessing, favor and mercy on us that we have gathered today, and by the grace and permission of Almighty Allah, we are going to start a series of lectures on Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, along with some lectures on science of Hadith and Sunnah, and compilation of Hadith and Sunnah. I would like to congratulate and appreciate the efforts of IMO, all executive of this center, particularly Brother Umar Farooq, the President, and Brother Usman Sadru, who put lots of effort day and night in organizing this event, and Sheikh Faisal Abdul Razak and Brother Iqbal Patel and Brother Zafar Arshad Kanpuri and Brother Hanif Muhammad and Brother Zain Makhdoom, Brother Asad Deen and Brother Uwais Iqbal, and all other people who assisted them in organizing this beautiful historical event. If Almighty Allah wills, by the end of this series of lectures, we may get them published under Toronto lecture series under the caption of Toronto Lecture Series. This used to be an academic and traditional practice in the last 2 centuries, which unfortunately has ceased now because of changed situations, environments, aptitudes, preferences, tendencies, and interests. This would be, in a way, a revival of this intellectual, academic effort. This series of lecture is not going to be the speeches as normally our common people are used to participate in the sessions, conferences, and different seminars. These would be particularly study circles, study sittings. We will study the traditional Islam. We will try to study the classical Islamic sciences of Hadith and Sunnah, along with other classical disciplines which I would feel necessary in order to explain certain aspects. Maybe after 3 lectures, I would be able to start the text of Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. I want to prepare a foundation for that. Today's lecture, the first one of this series, would be on the subject of significance of Sunnah. The study of the subject of significance of Sunnah would be in 2 perspectives. One perspective would be traditional and classical, whereas other aspect of this study would be contemporary and orientalistic. And I would like to start this discourse from very important and significant point, which has become a criticism, you may say a misunderstanding, you may say it a misconception, but whether it is misconception, it is misunderstanding, it is shaking the faith of the Muslims in general and faith of our younger generation in particular. Certain questions were raised in connection of Sunnah. In fact, in connection of the whole sum of the teachings of Islam. Those questions were raised in connection of the totality of Islam, not only in respect of Sunnah, but that critical analysis, wrong critical analysis, based on biased opinions, wrong information, particular motives, that was conducted, and that orientalistic study in the last 3-4 centuries was conducted, which started right from 16th century and continued up till 20th century. So there is a work consisting of 4 centuries behind preparation of this mind. Hundreds of books were produced by the Orientalists, Western scholars, researchers on Islam, on Quran and on Sunnah both, and on Sufism, and on Islamic law and Islamic fiqh, and on Islamic philosophy, and on Islamic theology, on Islamic culture. on all necessary disciplines of Islamic sciences. They were discussed. Some wrong conclusions were made. Those conclusions, those academic, so-called academic findings, they prepared a mind, and then some Muslim scholars living in various parts of the world, contemporary Muslim scholars, who, 100 years before, 80 years, 70 years, 50, 60 years before, who had no proper access or sufficient understanding of Islamic sciences and Islamic traditions and Islamic classical knowledge. They were influenced by those researchers, by those works, those books. So they borrowed their views and their ideas and their findings, and they wrote further many books to promote the same viewpoint which they had got through Orientalistic research and not from direct Islamic sources. And ultimately, up till today, this whole continuous work of few centuries has affected the minds of Muslim generations. Now our younger Muslim generations, since they have no access to Arabic language, they have no understanding of the original sources, they don't understand the traditional sciences and classical sciences of Islam, they are unable by themselves to differentiate between right and wrong conclusions. They can't differentiate between the right and wrong arguments and evidences. And they are, on the other hand, unable to read Islam through their own Arabic sources. They try to understand Islam through the same sources, through same authors, more or less. So it has, this whole phenomena has affected the mindset of our Muslim generations. So the concept of Islam is confused, and particularly the concept of Sunnah, concept of significance of Hadith, the relevance of Hadith and Sunnah to Islam, the necessity and indispensability of Hadith and Sunnah in Islam. This whole concept is totally confused. And not only up to the extent of significance of Sunnah, they have gone beyond it. Now the status, the concept of the status of prophethood, the status of messengership, the exalted position of Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Holy Prophet's significance in Islam, this whole concept is also misunderstood, and it has affected on the whole the faith and belief of Muslim generations.